His real name's Terrence, was brutally murdered. And when I say brutally murdered, like...
Boned.
Yeah.
Wow.
Behind that stunned expression sits 54-year-old Kenneth Robert Stowe Jr., a husband, a father of 3, and a cold-blooded killer who had been hiding a sickening secret for 25 years. Back in 1996, 31-year-old Terrence Paquette was stabbed 73 times, but the case went cold. Yet now, that gruesome crime has returned to haunt him.
I didn't do it. Can't change it. I can't explain.
For decades, Kenneth hid behind a picture-perfect life. But now, there's no escape, and every secret is about to spill out of his closet.
I can't help somebody, you know, if they're gay, then they're gay.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is if you took him up on something and went too far, you're like, wow.
I can't. There's no way in the world I could ever be gay.
In August 2021, a breakthrough in a 2-decade-old cold case sent shockwaves through the investigation team. Back in 1996, 31-year-old Terrence Paquette was savagely stabbed 73 times inside a quiet mini-mart in Orlando, Florida. At the time of the investigation, there was not enough evidence to convict anyone. The evidence is undeniable enough to bring 54-year-old Kenneth Robert Stowe Jr. straight into the interrogation room. As he walks in clueless, he is blissfully unaware that the past he thought he had buried is about to come crashing down.
Hey, Mr. Stowe.
What's up?
How's it going, bro? Let me take this stuff from you.
Pronounce my name right.
It's Stowe?
No, but he's
Oh, okay.
Stowe.
I'm Savelli, so Savelli.
Oh, okay.
I deal with
I'm a nubbing, so everybody
pretty-
gets that one right. You good? Stretch
Is
out
the
a little
first name
bit.
Kenny?
Ken.
I'm Ryan. This is Dave,
How's it going?
my partner. This is what I want to do, man. I want to sit down and talk to you. Obviously, this is coming a bit surprise at the bank there. So I just want to start. I want to get some very basic biographical information. Okay.
Okay.
Obviously, I already knew your name, but just for the record, what's your first name?
Kenneth.
Okay.
Kenneth Robert Stowe
Stowe.
Jr.
And your birthday?
7/18/67.
And where do you live? And who do you live there with anybody?
Her name's Emily Edwards.
Emily. And
Yeah. Emily
wife?
Edwards. Girlfriend.
Girlfriend. Long time? Short time?
Been there with her about 8 years.
Kids?
I have kids that are grown, but through my divorce.
Okay.
Yeah, they're.
Okay. But no kids with Emily?
No.
Okay. And it's just the two of you guys living there?
No, there's her grandson. Let me see. Her grandson, her great grandson, and one of her best friends. Her name's Betty. She's like 76 years old.
Okay. Is it a big house?
Yeah, it's 2.
Right from the start of the interrogation, Kenneth appears calm and cooperative. He casually shares details about his marriage and current relationship status. But something doesn't sit right. Beneath the surface of his story and calm demeanor lies a subtle contradiction, one the detectives have already picked up on. As Kenneth speaks casually about his life in 1996, he has no idea what is heading his way. They steer the conversation with subtle precision, slowly guiding him back to reveal details about the brutal crime he thought he'd buried decades ago.
And then there's the 7-Eleven's on OBT just south, kind of where Centerlink Parkway is.
Where Cablevision Company
Yeah,
was.
there was a Pizza Hut back there back in the day. And then Little Champ is right down the street.
Yeah, that's on Terracona, and that was used to be Albertsons over there.
Okay. And is this kind of look like the Little Champ back then in the day?
Yeah.
Kind of the same one? It's like
Yeah.
long road?
I worked there.
You worked here?
Yeah, I worked at that one, the one over in Wekiva.
What years were that?
I can't remember tell you. I always worked them as part-time jobs.
Like you were a clerk?
Yeah, because I worked at Conan Farms, I worked at different 7-Elevens.
Sure.
Usually I just always did them at night jobs.
Okay.
My mom was a manager at the Little Champ.
At this Little Champ?
No, I don't think that one. The one where Rose Avenue on the corner, and now there's McDonald's beside it.
Yeah.
It's not Little Champ.
It's like Orlando Paintball now.
Yeah,
Paintball place
right down the street. Yeah.
So you worked at this Little Champ?
Yep. I worked at 3 different ones.
Were you like morning clerk, mid-shift, swing shift?
Different ones. Sometimes I just work on Saturdays. Sometimes I work, because I always did it as a part-time job. I never did it just as.
Crazy question, and I just want you to be honest with me. Did you ever use a different name back then?
No, sir.
Did you ever go by a different name for tax purposes, like
Never.
you didn't want them to know about this?
Never. I never did nothing with that.
No fraud stuff?
No, sir.
Okay.
Detectives steer the conversation toward Kenneth's early years, hoping a deeper dive into his past will shed light on his present. However, he instantly denies any connection. For the detectives, this isn't just deflection, it's a red flag. His denial came too quickly, and this is a common response, letting the detectives know that they have struck a nerve. They've set the stage carefully, letting him think he's in control of the narrative. But this sense of false control is about to crack as the investigators try a bold move that will flip the entire interrogation upside down.
I want to show you a picture of somebody that you might have come in contact with through where you said you worked at the Little Champ. Has this person ever... Did you ever work with this guy? His name is, his government name is Terry, or Terrence, but he goes by Terry.
He looks familiar.
I mean, there's so many people that go through those jobs, right? And kind of like I explained to you earlier, like this whole thing could be a huge misunderstanding. But the times you worked at this Circle K, do you ever remember getting hurt?
At Circle K?
Yeah, or Little Champ. You ever
Just cuts and stuff like that with,
Okay.
box cutters, nothing major.
I'm going to be honest with you. Terry was murdered.
Oh, shit. I remember somebody back in the day. I remember somebody said somebody got hurt there.
Okay.
But, and I remember a robbery. It was on the news and
Was
everything
it?
else. Yeah.
Because right around the area you kind of live.
Yeah.
And what do you remember hearing about it?
Just whatever they said on the news. I don't know exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, just exactly what they said on the news about.
Okay.
It was a robbery, and I seen the crime tape and everything.
Oh, you did? So
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like this is right here?
My mom
This
did
is
right,
another
my mom
picture?
worked at the Publix right back here. But not behind that, yeah, just right behind the Publix.
So-
it was actually in front of my apartment's the Publix. So she retired at Publix.
You we're from Orange County. We're not
Okay.
County guys. We're Orange County guys. Do you have family that works for Orange County?
Do I have family? No.
There's some styles that work for Orange County.
I remember back in the day, there said somebody in the sheriff's office that worked for Orange County.
But you don't have any. You
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Your parents never mentioned anything like that.
Until now, Kenneth seems to have only a vague idea why he's here. But all that has changed with the revelation of the photo. Despite being told that Terry was murdered, there's no expression on Kenneth's face. Instead, he tries to play it down, calling it a robbery, trying to distance himself from this so-called tragedy. The detectives know that they have him cornered, and now it is just a matter of time before the truth is revealed.
Your job at the store at the Little Champ, did you
Cashier, stockings, stuff
did you
like
have
that.
to deposit money into the safe at the end of your shift?
Oh, yeah.
So
Sometimes with them, we used to have to, and I thought it was scary because we had to leave there with money and deposit it in the ATM.
when you would cut yourself at the store, did you have to report that to your boss? Like, hey, I just injured myself. That's pretty bad.
Nothing else that was major.
So you never reported any.
No.
Any significant, like...
I got an injury here with Worldwide Dedicated when I was moving.
Well, let me show you some other pictures. So this is the inside of the store, right? Is that kind of what you remember?
Sort of, yeah.
I mean,
They all look
it's
the
going.
same.
I mean,
They
I was
all
going to
look the
say, and
same,
then
yeah.
back in the day, what we need to clear up. And this is what could be the misunderstanding.
Okay.
Is unfortunately Terry. I'm going to call him Terry. His real name's Terrence. Was brutally murdered. And when I say brutally murdered, like,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Wow.
So that's crazy, right? And so nowadays, I mean, everything with crime is on TV. You can't turn the TV on.
I watch crime TV.
You
all
watch.
the
You
time.
can't. I mean, I do the same thing. I find myself at home falling asleep to Forensic Files sometimes because
That's
But when I say this guy was.
If I knew somebody. Wow.
But here's the problem, because I know this is the first time you see me, but I've kind of been up in your for the past couple months.
Okay.
So the other about a month ago, we got your DNA from you like Budweiser.
Yeah.
You drink Bud, don't
Yes,
you?
sir.
And you like to go the Sicko.
Yes, sir.
And so we got your beer. And so this is what we need to explain, because now we have a homicide where Terry stabbed 73 times. It happened with Terry and you. I don't know if you got into a...
I've never heard of it.
Look at this. Listen to this. You ever watch Jerry Springer shows and they do the paternity test? And
Yeah, I understand.
And they say-
I watch DNA shows and everything,
Yeah.
but for somebody to say I'm responsible for something like that, no.
And let me tell you about Terry. We got to go back. We can't be talking about 2021 right now, because would you agree times are different in 2021 than they were in
definitely,
96?
definitely.
However you want to look at it. Terry was gay.
I'm just trying to.
I'm just trying to give you kind of a background. Terry was the store manager at Little Champ, and he was gay, openly gay.
Okay.
Not a big deal today,
All right.
right? It's not uncommon to work with or associate with somebody that's gay. 96, a little bit different. Would you agree that times were different? It wasn't as widely accepted as it is today.
I used to have gay friends before, huh?
Even in 96?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, not that early, but
Okay.
I mean, when I worked for Papa John's, the guy I drove with was.
And you guys got along just fine? Did you have any problems or ill will towards him because he was gay in 96?
No.
And if you did, that's okay.
His boyfriend, my
Okay.
manager, Scott, we used to go to the Hard Rock Cafe and drink, and he was
Okay.
actually in a married relationship.
Okay.
So yeah.
So my question, I guess I got to get kind of personal now, because now you look at this from me, where you see Terry is gay and somebody stabbed him 73 times. Not only stabbed him 73 times,
Wow.
but his throat. So you watch these crime shows. What would you think if somebody had the?
I understand.
So it's personal. Would you agree?
Somebody that was angry.
Have you ever been attracted, or have you ever been with a guy?
As they explore Kenneth's past, they suggest there may have been more than just a professional relationship between him and Terrence. 1996 Orlando had a strongly conservative climate about one's orientation, with many hiding their outright denial in order to avoid discrimination, harassment, and even violence. And for a man like Kenneth, it seems that this is still a rather sensitive topic. Though Kenneth denies everything, claiming their interactions were strictly work-related, the DNA evidence tells a different story. No matter his denial, in the face of cold hard evidence, it's not long before the truth emerges, leaving Kenneth with nothing but to face the music.
So that's my next question. Is this possible that Terry made you feel uncomfortable, came on to you one morning?
No, I would call going there. I go out there a lot, just like.
Did he ever?
No.
Did you know Terry?
I would be mad at somebody to do something like that. That's freaking wacko right there.
Did you know Terry?
I can't say like not on a person. I was like, hey, how you doing? I played my lottery there. I got my.
But did you know Terry? Now that I say the name.
I didn't know him.
And so looking at the
just
picture?
in the store. I never worked. I never worked with him.
I don't want to put words in your
Okay.
mouth. So when I showed you that picture of him, I said, you know him, you said he looks familiar. Now thinking back, did you know the person there as Terry?
I can't recall. I really can't.
Okay, so when I say you know him, I don't want you to think that I'm insinuating that you knew this guy.
His picture that don't look familiar, but.
And here's the other thing. There's money missing from this safe here. So does this safe look familiar? You see the safe here?
They basically they all look the same. I couldn't tell you not that long ago.
Do you know that if somebody was opening in their opening routine in the morning, that there would probably be money in there from the overnight clerk that had put money in the safe?
I know there used to be cameras in there.
Okay, all right. And so that's where I'm getting at. I'm not.
Oh yeah.
We
There
got
used to be cameras.
yeah. So I'm trying to go little by little. So this is not really a question if you were there, because now you know that there's cameras and stuff. It's not a question of where you were there, because we have all this evidence. It's a matter of what happened and trying to explain this.
I didn't do that.
And so what I don't want, because oftentimes you're a dad, right? You say you still contact your daughter. It's just going back to dealing with kids. If your daughter came home from school and something happened at school, and she told you what happened, she might get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But if she lied to you,
she get in more trouble.
she get in more trouble. Because in our society, there's always what someone does can be explained.
Yeah.
It can be explained. Hard times, bankruptcy, whatever. Everything can be explained. But what nothing can be explained is when you lie and you try to cover up. Because what we want to leave here.
Mm-hmm.
And just like if you didn't do this, we got to prove that Kenny Kenneth style, do not do this. And I'll do that for you. I will, but I need to know how to do that. Look at this blood drop. I'm not an expert in blood. I don't claim to be. It's clean, bro. So, and like I said, man, people do this for one or two reasons. Actually, one of three reasons. And it hasn't changed since the beginning of time.
Demand or sick.
Huh? No.
Sick.
Women, money, and rage are just about the three oldest motives for something like this. Money, women, and rage, right? So obviously you were married to Wanda.
Yeah.
And see, we asked all these questions. I knew you were married to Wanda. I know you haven't spoke to Amanda and your son and all that stuff. See, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to just figure out why this happened. It's not. I don't want you to think I'm being rude or condescending, because I'm not. I'm not asking you if you did this.
No, you saying I did it. I know for a fact I don't have that much anger, madness.
And that's what I want to get at.
I don't have that in me though.
But
I can't even go out hunting with nobody because I can't shoot a freaking animal.
I know, but that's what I want to get at. And that's where rage comes in, where somebody violates you, or they do something. I never said you were.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like, I don't understand why I wouldn't have no rage towards nobody, not to hurt somebody. There's nothing
Well,
that can make me that.
Is it? And I don't know, and I hate to get into the personal stuff because
That's
couldn't imagine sitting here.
This is really personal now.
Yeah,
I'm likely going to prison, jail.
It's very personal, and that's what I was asking. Is I didn't know if maybe you did know Terry, maybe you did come in for a cup of coffee, and maybe he did come on to you, or I don't know, or maybe something happened and you were young and it was 25 years ago.
I never really knew him as his name. I knew him, and that's why the other photo looked familiar.
But when you say him, are you saying that?
I can't remember his name.
Can you identify him off of that picture I showed you?
The other picture, that looks.
Kenneth is in visible shock, desperately denying what was unfolding. But it is too late. Back in August 1996, detectives were careful enough to submit the unidentified DNA to public genealogy databases. And with the breakthrough in New Age forensics, using SNP analysis over traditional STRs, they uploaded the sample to GED Match and Family Tree DNA. And as justice would have it, the one unidentified piece of evidence became the cornerstone of cracking this case wide open. What comes next will rip open the darkest chapter of his twisted past.
So Brian and I, between the two of us, we've been doing this job for over 50 years. I've been doing this 32 years myself, and Brian's been doing it for close to 20. So you're looking at, we've heard every single story. I started this job in 1989. That's how long I've been doing this job. This homicide occurred when I had been on the job for 7 years.
What year?
So,
what was the year?
1996.
February 3rd, 1996. It was a Saturday.
In the morning, when Terry was opening the store, before opening, so he had to either let you in the store early, or he had inadvertently left it unlocked, and you went in the store. But if you knew him and you knock on the door, he probably would have let you in, and that makes perfect sense because if you know the guy. And he sees you, because we're bracking our head. We know the who, which is you and Terry. We know the where, we know the when, and we know the how, kind of. And we think we know the why. It's $4,000 missing. You're in financial trouble.
I always had money though.
Why'd you declare bankruptcy?
Well, that was before that happened. I had good jobs though. I was Class A CDL. I always worked.
But who?
So that leads us into the next question. If it can't be money, it can't be women because you're married, then it's rage. And so let's look at this picture again. You said, now we're looking at this picture.
I said he looked familiar. I'm trying to think. Anyway, I can get my nerves are like.
Yeah, we'll get you one. But what I want you to do is I want you to look at this. You can't do this to somebody.
I can't do that.
Because you gotta, no, I didn't say that.
I can't do that.
But when you say this water bottle is a knife, when you do this to somebody, you know what you're hitting? You're hitting bone, and you're sweating profusely, so the handle of that knife becomes a little slippery. And sometimes your hand slides down. Are you right or left-handed?
Right.
That's perfect, because if you see where all these injuries are, they are all on the right side. Typically, when you're standing over somebody, right, or his left, there will be opposite side, right? So that's why you see him over on the right, because most people are stronger on their right. What I'm saying is your hand slips down and you inadvertently do this. So would you agree that if you did this to someone, whoever did this would probably have Terry's blood on him? Would you agree?
No,
Because look at that. Probably has Terry's blood on him. This looks bad.
Yeah.
This looks bad.
I mean, I didn't have my surgery until on both hands for.
When did you have surgery?
Huh?
When did you have surgery?
Probably on the same here.
This looks bad.
Yeah, but it's on both
That-
of my hands.
This right
It's
here,
on
what
the
happened to
table.
Terry, looks bad.
No, it's
I
not
can't
good.
imagine sitting in your seat. It looks horrible,
Mhm.
but it can be explained. And most people sitting in your seat, right, regardless of how hard it is, to be honest, it's very, very important, okay? Because there's a difference in somebody that grew up since they were 15, and they said, you know what, I just want to kill somebody. Right? No, just hear me out. But there's a difference between there's a difference between somebody that is that young and it's in their mind their whole life, and they're just going around. That person's a monster. They wanted to do this and they thought about it, and then finally they say, you know, I'm going to kill that person, and then they go through the whole process of premeditating this, and they stalk them out and they do it, and then finally they kill them one day. That's a monster. Somebody that's thought about this versus somebody that did this, one, because they had a kid on the way, in and out of jobs.
My daughter was.
Just hear me out.
Okay.
That did this in a fit of rage, that never had these thoughts, or maybe something just happened. But it's important that you're honest with us, because it may not seem like it's important now, and it may be very hard for you to do. But I promise
I
you,
could explain
I
anything
promise.
I would. I just.
There's only one way to
You're
explain
telling-
it.
You're telling. I can't. I'm in
You don't-
shock.
you don't-
I'm in shock. I just
You're
know.
I know
shocked.
you're
You're shocked because you're here right now. Because for 25 years, you've never been in front of a detective asking about your blood.
I never committed a crime like this.
As the room tightens, detectives shift gears. They are about to go on the offensive, using evidence-based interrogation to its fullest, making sure there is no way out for Kenneth. And amongst the plethora of findings, the detectives are about to reveal one piece of evidence that could shatter every lie, and they know Kenneth won't see it coming.
Dave brings up a good point. Did you find Terry like this and freak the f*** out? Take his keys, check for a pulse, get his DNA on? Hear me out, because it's very plausible. Terry, oh my God, are you okay? And then all of a sudden, you touch him and you get a pulse, and now you take his keys because you're freaking out, because now what's going to happen is the cops are going to come in, they're going to look at you like, oh, Kenneth is a murderer. Then you lock up and take his keys. Is that possible?
No.
But because that didn't happen. It didn't happen.
I like I said, I knew about the robbery, but seeing that,
So Dave and I have the wrong person.
You
We
definitely
have the wrong person.
got to, yeah, the wrong person. I didn't kill nobody.
Do you swear to God that
I
that's
swear
the
to
truth?
God I didn't kill
Can you raise your right hand? You swear? Can you raise your right hand? You swear to
I
God?
swear to God, I didn't
Wow.
kill nobody. I was there, like I said, Thursday or Friday, probably.
But
I'm just trying to.
You don't know
think
when
back.
you worked there, Ken.
I know as far as a customer. I mean,
But
before that happened, I already.
you remember
I
you were
already
living in
injured.
Volusia. You told me you remember when this happened. You were living in
But
Volusia
I
County.
visit my mom almost every day.
In the
I
morning.
visit my mom.
In the morning time.
Different times, all the time.
5 in the morning. 6 in the
No,
morning.
never
That's when this
came
happened.
I didn't come that early in the morning. Might have been there the night before.
Here's what I think happened. So you get inside the store. Either you know that Terry has all the money out. The $4,000 is gone. We talked to the clerk who worked the night before. He said, "Yeah, I remember putting it in there. Now it's gone." You kill Terry inside the bathroom. And then you come out, and people are starting to come. Customers, there's a guy waiting for a ride. You hunker down in the freezer until somebody's gone. And then you haul out the door. You grab what you can behind the counter.
You've been living with this for 25 years.
I can't recall.
You just have to get this off your
I wouldn't
shoulders,
have
bro.
done it. I wouldn't have done it. There's no way.
How good would it feel just to get this off your chest, man? It has to have been eating you up, man. It has been eating you up.
I can't say something I did. I know I didn't do it. I wouldn't.
I don't want you to do that. I just want you to be honest.
I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't do nothing like that. I couldn't do nothing like that.
But you know what's weird is me looking back when I was like 15, 16. There's stuff I would have done back when I was 16 that I wouldn't do now. Now I look back when I was 20s and 30s, there's stuff I would have done back then that I wouldn't do now, because it's called maturity. As you get older, there's just some you do that you wouldn't do now that you would do 25 years ago. Right? You get older, you get wiser, just like you got divorced. I've been divorced. Right? There's that if I get married again, I won't do again. So, it's just called life. It's called maturity. So you keep saying I wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it now because what are you, 54? 54, right? 54-year-old Kenneth Stowe wouldn't do this. But 31-year-old, because you were 31 at the time, 31-year-old Kenneth Stowe did.
Kenneth's DNA was found mixed with the victim's, yet he keeps denying everything. But he had no idea about how the detectives arranged their cards before bringing him into the interrogation room. A trained forensic genealogist began the painstaking task of building a genetic map to bring a long-awaited justice. Eventually, all lines pointed to one man, Kenneth Robert Stowe, Jr. Not only was his DNA mixed with the victim's, but he had once lived across the street from Terry at the time of the murder. And after 25 years of deflection and silence, detectives aren't just chasing the truth anymore. With every detail in hand, they want the answer, and only one man knows the whole truth.
And that's what we got to get past. Yes, you wouldn't do it now. Yes, you regret this. Yes, you're sorry. I can see it on your face, and I feel horrible for you. This is a bad situation. But 54-year-old Kenneth Stowe wouldn't do this, but 31-year-old would have. And that's what we need to know why. I personally, my opinion, this is me just putting the evidence together, that just like he floated one, I'm going to float one. I think Kenneth came on to you. I think maybe possibly you and Kenneth, you and Terry maybe had something. I'm not calling you gay, and he threatened to tell your wife. And how would that look back in 1996? That's my opinion. I don't know. Nobody knows but you, and that's what we're here to do.
I've never.
See,
I've never been.
Do you want us to piece this together for you? This is your story, bro. You don't want us to piece this together for you, because he's going to say one thing, I'm going to say another, and then the prosecutor's going to say one thing, and then you got 12 jury members, and they're going to say their own. The only person that can tell us why, how, and how remorseful you are is you. And that's what's important, is the remorse.
Is there a chance I can go to the bathroom?
Yeah, we'll get you back. Of course. I know you've been chugging those waters like crazy. But this
I just got dry throat because
you need that water.
Yeah, no,
okay, we'll
I gotta go to the bathroom first. I gotta pee.
Okay, but that's where we're at, man.
And I can't hold my poop. So.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get you a bathroom. This is where we're in somebody else's house here.
Detectives were now desperate to know his motive. As they already have their basic details in hand, they are trying to delve into his psyche. With the stigma around the LGBT community being far greater, the fear of being exposed could have triggered overwhelming panic and even rage. Soon, detectives would discover that Kenneth's marriage was a mirror of the very secrets he was too afraid to face.
That guy stabbed a lot of times.
Oh yeah,
a ton. Throat slit.
I see that. That's horrible.
You know how many of these are deadly? Not all of them. In fact, there's more on here that are not deadly than are deadly. That's just how it is, because I could stab you all in your legs, and granted, I don't hit your femoral artery or something significant blood supply. You can survive superficial knife wounds. Is it possible that he threatened you, and you just stabbed him once and then you just lost it? Because that's a difference too, Kenneth. That's the difference between if he threatened you, maybe he thought you had money because you're a hardworking guy, maybe you had a watch on, and I'm not saying that the possibility that he threatened you that day and you just stabbed him one time and then he died and went unconscious and you said, and you just took the...
No matter what somebody done, unless they killed one of my kids or somebody else.
I understand that, but...
Would I do something like that? A person, I can run away or fight myself out of it, but like that, no.
All right.
I want to have that much rage to...
But you never know till you're
I have some self-control to where I wouldn't hurt nobody like that.
Everybody says that until they get cut off in traffic and then rolling the window down, throwing a finger up because you're just so caught in that moment, and...
I can turn the cheek real easy.
You know? Now... 25 years ago when you were 31, when shit wasn't as easy as it is now. That's the difference.
Actually, I mean, I had more important things in my life than I do right now. Right now it's simple. It's
You said you talked to your daughters?
We've been trying to go back and forth.
You talk to your son?
No, like I said, he's angry. He thinks I.
What did they say is the cause for the divorce?
I haven't talked to him. I showed him that when everything happened, your mom lied. I mean, basically she lied, tried to get me arrested so she had control of the house.
Domestic violence issues?
I mean, but
what did she
lied.
say?
She said I was trying to keep her from leaving. I said no, and it was just the way that everything happened. Even because I had a defense attorney at the time, but we were still separated. Even the defense, because I showed him, okay, if you had something so dramatic in that night, she wrote one report. Then she turned around and wrote another report. I guess the one for the courts, the next day was for the Volusia County Police. They're totally different, and they've seen that. And I told my son, and he got mad, but I was like, your mom's going to get arrested. She's going to have to go on court and lie about this. She wrote 2 different reports. And I didn't want my daughter to have to go to judge. Even my daughter told me, Dad, I know Mom lied. She promised me a cell phone. She promised me all this stuff. Because she told the police officer that night, yeah, I'm in fear of my life for my dad. I never hit my kid. I spanked both of them one time in their life.
But your son even went through some measures to change his name.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, like that's pretty.
Oh, he stayed angry at me because he thinks everything was my fault. No telling what she told. She told my daughter to lie the night I got arrested.
What does your daughter and son do now? Do they work?
The last thing, my son should probably be a doctor by now. I don't know for sure. But
he was in med school and stuff?
When I got my DUI 16 years ago, I sort of couldn't transportation-wise, couldn't go see him. And I was like, when they get old enough, they'll come see me.
Let me ask you, I got to go back into the memory bank with Wanda. You and Wanda, were you guys, through your marriage, always good?
Oh, yeah.
With her?
Yeah.
Consistent?
Oh, yeah. I mean, she uses it like I think most wives do, as far as leverage. You know?
Yep. Well, that's
earn your
just,
brownie points. You know?
Yep, that's human nature, isn't it? You think you and Wanda would still be together if it weren't for your DUI?
We already gone through divorce. And that's why the only reason I got the DUI because I had a dog in the car and he freaking got out of his box and he was a little chihuahua and I moved him and I swerved and the cop got me and I was literally living in my semi because I was like, I don't know how the divorce was going to go, so I'm like, I don't want to start buying something. And I was like, okay, I can't pay rent, I got to move. So when I got my DUI, I just did a settlement with her. I said, hey, I don't want nothing to do with you. You don't want nothing to do with me. So we're just going to split the 401k. Your bills is yours, mine's mine. And I'm not going to pay child support until my daughter's 18 so she can tell the truth.
What high school did you want to go to?
Popka High School. So we're actually junior high school. That's when we started, that's when I fell in love with her. She,
Right.
they didn't start dating until Popka.
Imagine she's going to be dumbfounded when she hears that.
My brother, Tio, everybody's going to be freaking, what?
Yeah. Do you think there's anybody that won't be surprised?
No.
Because...
Oh, I mean, everybody's going to be surprised. I mean, I just can't think of somebody that everybody knows me.
So
we're down to...
Everybody knows me enough.
Kenneth tried to paint himself as a man of faith, someone who had changed. But then came the red flags. An arrest in 2006 for domestic battery after his wife tried to leave him due to his addictions. Sticking to the role he has built up throughout the interrogation, he again denies everything. Add to that a 2004 arrest for disorderly conduct, solidifying as a troubling pattern immediately. Detectives notice his restless hands, shifting posture, and silent signals of rising tension. But what Kenneth never saw coming was how a scrap of DNA would blow his past wide open.
If I blacked out and I knew I had done something like that, if something ever happened like that, I couldn't live with myself. There's no way. Because to me, there wouldn't be no forgiveness for that.
And everybody can be forgiven.
Not that. That's, if I had done this, I would tell you. I would tell you. Let me take. I would tell you if I did this or whatever, if I'd done it. But because I wouldn't want to face anybody in my family and them thinking, Dad.
But this is a real personal thing.
I know.
Because we're dealing with somebody that's gay and that's very uncomfortable even in today's world for somebody that may have never even talked about it in their whole entire life. Okay. It's very uncomfortable.
All right. 4 years ago when I worked at Perkins, okay, so to take the gay thing out of it, so I worked with Scott. He died of a heart attack, but everybody knows we used to go out. Okay, he took come pick me up in his Corvette. We'd go to Hard Rock. We were cool. He had a partner that works at Disney. Everybody knew how me and Scott were cool. John Carson, he'd sleep in the bunk. We went to Georgia. We did deliveries. He was openly gay. We went to his house. He had he was a gay guy, and his partner was the girlish kind of guy. So, I mean, I'm just telling you, I have had relationships with gay guys, and he's like, man, I don't have many heterosexual friends. That's what Scott used to tell me. I said, that's cool. Hey, you just know how I am. I know how you are, so it's like, it's cool. You can have your thing.
But I guess I got to go there now. Have you ever crossed a line with a guy?
I've never
You've never kissed a guy?
No.
Had sex with a guy?
No.
Has anyone
No.
ever tried to do that on you, where it made you uncomfortable and put you in that?
I've always made a step. Your preferences, that's on you. That's
okay.
But
So were you like that in '96? Were you as cool with gay people in '96
I
as
didn't
you are today?
as long as they didn't do anything
So
with
that's
me.
why I'm asking. Did Terry know that you were like that and cool, and did he
He
come
never
on to
approached
you?
me like that. Like I said, I don't really recognize him by. I mean, he looked a little familiar, maybe, but I mean, we didn't have it. It wouldn't be like I knocked on the door and he would let me in. We didn't have that relationship. I'd go
But
there.
you're very comfortable in referencing he and him and we. So it's almost weird to me that you don't want to say that you knew Terry, but you're acting like you do in the way you answer these questions.
Kenneth is clearly grappling with the idea of guilt, insisting he couldn't live with himself if he were truly to blame. But detectives don't buy his words. The investigators simply need to confirm what the genetics suggested. They tracked Kenneth's movements using a GPS device installed on his vehicle. And when the time was right, they retrieved discarded beer cans and other items from his trash. The DNA recovered from the cans was a perfect match to the blood left at the 1996 crime scene. After 25 years, the invisible thread of silence had done what traditional methods never could. It had found the man behind the murder.
Did Terry ever cross the line with you when you were in the store? Come on to you,
That's what I'm
grab
saying.
you, try to kiss you?
So I didn't know his name.
Did you do something?
I could have walked away from anybody coming, trying to do
Right,
something
but
like with me.
but it's 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
I
You seem
I
kind of.
never seen anybody in that store because if I was passing by or wherever I was going, I know it was Circle K and 7-Eleven would be open.
But you seem like
I
a
wanted to go
friendly
to that
dude.
store.
You seem like somebody that's social, that people may not be friends with you, but when they first meet you, they kind of shoot because you seem like a personable guy. I don't know you outside of this setting, but that's what it appears to me. So what I'm saying is, if Terry took that the wrong way, and he knew you from coming in, making deliveries, and you're shooting them, and he came on to you, that's important.
Yeah, I just
That's
don't know if I
important.
made
But did that
deliveries.
happen?
No.
But did that happen?
No.
And there's nothing to be embarrassed about or ashamed of.
I wouldn't be embarrassed about it. I mean, I can't help somebody, they're gay, they're gay.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you took him up on something and went too far, you're like, wow.
I can't.
I'm married.
There's no way in the world I could ever be gay. There's nothing. There's no gayness in me. I'm just a heterosexual.
It's almost
Yeah.
everybody, let's say probably everybody we speak to that we show the crime scene photos, like, oh man, this is deeply personal. This
Yeah.
is somebody who really, and that's kind of the classic, what we call like an overkill. Where
I've seen it.
Where it'd be like,
Yeah.
you don't need to stab somebody 73 times.
That's why I know damn well. There's no way I could do that.
Listen, man, I don't know how much we can go round and round. I would.
I know. I
don't.
I know.
If
I can't. There's nothing I can tell you differently to make you okay. Like
A
you
reason-
said, you have to go back and you have to say, hey, he said he didn't do it. That's all I can tell you is I didn't do it.
A reasonable explanation would be good. But you can't even find one of those.
I didn't do it. I can't pull it out of the air and say, hey, I that's something I did, and I'll tell you what happened. There's nothing I can tell you. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I can't change it. I can't explain what I mean.
All right, well, we'll regroup our things, man. Let me ask you this. Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear, affirm, or promise everything you told us in this interview today was true and correct?
Yes, sir.
So help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, man, we're going to gather our stuff. Just give us a minute, all right? Well, you need some more water or something? I'm sure you might have to use the bathroom in the next 20 minutes. Just hang out here for us.
As a last resort of a condemned man, Kenneth repeatedly denies any involvement in Terry's murder. Despite his insistence on innocence, the evidence is stacked against him. His refusal to take responsibility only deepens the mystery and solidifies his guilt, setting the stage for a courtroom trial where his fate will unfold. Kenneth Robert Stowe Jr. was charged with first-degree murder and stood a 5-day trial in Orange County, Florida. The jury found him guilty, and with the help of advancements in forensic DNA technology, including familial DNA tracing, the case, which was unsolved for 20 years, was finally solved with Judge Robert J. Egan sentencing Kenneth to life in prison.